So, hey everybody, this is Cristina from Triathlon Mommy, DashStrøm Coaching and DashStrøm Run Clubs. And I help moms just like you start a children's fitness program so that you can earn income, work on your fitness and your mindset, and most importantly, impact your community with our empowerment and character building curriculum. And today I'm here with Miss Elise from Michigan. And Elise just graduated from our program, and she was nice enough to come up and to come in here and talk a little bit about her experience with our program so that she can help other moms that are out there maybe thinking about it or on the fence, talk about what it was like for her. So thank you so much, Elise, for being here.
Of course.
Well, thanks. So why don't you tell me, we'll start at the beginning. It's like, what were you looking for when you found, DashStrøm on Facebook?
I think it was trying to, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, I homeschool, and so I don't bring in an income. And so it would be having something that I could do with my kids and bring in an income for the family as well. That's kind of what I was looking for.
All right, cool. And you joined right as COVID started, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. So timing has been a little bit off, but we pivoted and we did the online program and things like that. And so now you're on the other side of this, right? Like you're graduated, you have your business, you are a business owner. And we had talked that when you joined, you had heard a lot of the things that I was saying before, because you had an MLM, right?
Right.
So what is different, or what has been different between what you received or how you built, your experience with an MLM and your experience with the DashStrøm program? Like, what are some of the differences?
Well, really it was the key words that you used, because it's going to be a community. We're going to be working out as a community. You're going to have a lot of help. I've got everything you need. I have everything you need. All you need to do is learn it and implement it, and you'll be successful. Okay, so those are all keywords that you've used for me. And it's true. It is true. There's no way of changing that. But with an MLM, okay, I got my information and I tried implementing it, but I was not successful at all. Like, no matter how much information I got in, it wasn't successful. And then the support was good for a week or two, if that. And so I would message or email, or we would do group calls, but the group calls were huge, and they were hour long, and then you'd get on and it would be a waste of time because I wouldn't have my questions answered, or they would go on tangents that aren't relative or productive for my time. Whereas the run club calls are to the point, like there is no waste of time, because even if they're small, which is very conducive because you can go around and ask all your questions. And then the advantage to that too is if someone has the question, oh, I didn't even think of that. That's a great idea, So the support's there because I can message you and other helpers, and I will message and ask questions until I don't have any questions anymore. And there is no judgment in that either. Whether that's message, email, phone call, take your pick. And so the support is there. The curriculum is easy. You have full access to everything, and you can read it too, and it's easy to take in. It's not that complicated. It's almost silly how easy it seems in the curriculum itself. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. Like, I think that was the biggest difference. And so yes, it is, but like an MLM, it is up to you to do the work. Like, I can help you only so far. You're gonna have to do the rest, kind of deal. And that's fine. That's figure it out. It's your business, so.
Okay. So in that support, because I think what we try to create is an environment where there's a lot of safety nets, right? Because we want you to be successful, not because we are a pyramid scheme. And so like you're my, I think it's called like downline or upline, it's
Mm-hmm.
online. Not because of that, but because we are completely passionate about our curriculum. And so we want this to be in front of as many kids as possible. But I'm not in Michigan. So, I'm not going to be in Michigan in the near or in the far future. So I depend on your success for for my mission to be fulfilled. And
Right.
so what we try to create is like all these safety nets so that if you start going sideways, that we catch you before you're like off into space, because a lot of times you'll invest in something and like the first week you're like gung-ho and you do all the homework, in one day. And then by week 3 or by week 4, you're like, and maybe things, you lose priorities. And so we want to make sure that you stay focused this whole time. Did you feel that? Were those safety nets there for you?
Um, I think so. What really helped, there was actually a couple things, is the units in the curriculum are all broken up. And then you've got your homework at the end and you send it to somebody. Now, if you need to work on it and it needs to be changed or you kind of miss the point, whatever, it'll get sent back. You try it again and it'll go back through. So the accountability is there.
Mm-hmm.
The calls were crucial for me in the beginning. I had so many questions, so many questions. But the calls were crucial. And even though they were 2 business calls and 1 mindset call, I still had questions in between that I know I asked within the first 2 weeks that you still answered, even though the call was going to be, in a day or two. Um, and so that was starting off when you have all these questions, you're like, okay, what do I do here? So that was the biggest, I think those were the 2 biggest things, is I knew I had the accountability for the homework and the units and it was all sectioned off. And then I knew I had the calls to show up and ask my questions, however many I had, because I think I had like 15 to 20 at one point.
You're, I think you were one of the ones with the most questions, but we love that because I think what you said is very true, because if you're on a group coaching call and somebody's asking all these questions, the other people in that call is like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. It's exactly that. And so, and people end up thanking us, like, thanks Elise for asking these questions, because otherwise they wouldn't have thought about it. So
Right.
questions are always, always, always welcomed. So that was great. So if there is a mom out there and she is on the fence, or she's like, oh no, I've tried, selling leggings or jewelry or whatever it is on an MLM, and I'm not so sure about this. I've heard this all before. What would you tell that mom?
You've heard it all before, but it's completely different this time around. And because you've done the MLM, you've got the experience to be able to do this even better. Because of the MLM, you know the hard work that you've put into that company that you've already tried, except this time it's going to be successful because you've got the smaller calls, the smaller group, the one-on-one. I have to say, thanks to my MLM, I know I've learned some things from that to be able to make my success happen in this company. Because some of the stuff I'm like, oh, I can easily do that, because it does take hard work, but it's, like, that's nothing new, because it's just so much better. Like, and being able to meet everyone else, even though it's not in person, everyone loves sharing, and they're like, here, have this, here, try this. And it's not a competition either. It's not, you're going to swipe my customers. It's, no, please have this, because if that helps you, that just makes me smile and I'm excited for you. And that's awesome.
Oh, that is, I mean, I love our tribe, right? And
Right.
in our Facebook group and stuff. And I think you're right. There is, because we are so community focused, what you do in Michigan and what somebody does in Nebraska or in Mississippi you're not competing against each other. And I think everybody becomes very passionate about what they're teaching, that it's that same, like we all become kind of mission driven.
Right.
So thanks for highlighting that. Okay, and anything else you would like to share or say to a mom out there that might be listening to this?
Well, if you've talked to Christina and you've watched the videos, but you still have questions, ask them in the free Facebook group, because I know there will be other moms that can be like, oh yeah, and here's my story, and this is what happened. So I will be one of those people. If you tag me in it, I will answer your question and I will talk, because that's what we all are. Like, I haven't talked to another mom that's not like, no, that's okay, I don't have time. No, let me share.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for that generous offer of yours.
Oh yeah, happy to help.
Well, thank you. All right, Elise. Well, again, thank you so much for popping in with me and for sharing your story. And I hope that it's helpful for somebody out there that is listening.
For sure.
On the other time.